Game of the year coming up for the Broncos, and we are here to break it down on the DNVR Broncos podcast. On today's episode, we are comparing the Broncos offense to the Packers offense and then doing the same on the other side. Is Micah Parsons or Nik Bonitto better? The answer is way closer than you think. Plus, we're going to have our guy Brian Baldinger on to break it down, and it all starts now. Later today to break down this awesome game. You got the number 1 seed in the AFC going against the number 2 seed in the NFC in the Mile High City, and we're going to break it down on the DNVR Broncos podcast live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores and presented by Bet365. You want to get the Broncos plus money? You can do that over at Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 and you will get $150 in bonus bets to use on the Broncos as home dogs by placing a $5 bet after depositing $10, and boom, you are set. We are the DNVR Broncos podcast. My guy, Ryan Koenigsberg, to my left. My guy, Henry Chisholm, to my right. And we got Dion behind the camera. Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how we doing?
Fantastic. Unbelievable weather day in Denver. Sun always shines during a Denver Broncos.
That's what they say, yeah.
And it's just rolling straight through, man. Wow, what a blessing it is to look forward to the Broncos game all week.
Yeah.
It's truly a blessing. Too many years where it's just like, at this time of year especially, like, let's get this shit over with and get to the draft. It is truly a blessing to wake up and be like, how many more days till the Broncos play?
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. Well, it's nice, like, because people start putting out Field Yates just put out a mock draft. First of all, it's just cool the Broncos picked 32nd. But he starts by writing, for the second straight offseason, there might not be a roster with fewer glaring needs than the Broncos, who are currently on a 10-game winning streak with second-year quarterback Bo Nix. Like, if you could just, see that clip behind number 32 3 years ago, it's incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, everything would be good. And guys, I'm having a great day, but not as good as Marvin Mims, because congratulations to Marvin on winning AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. This is a no-brainer. Somehow he has his first punt return touchdown of his career, which is just absolutely wild. And man, it was a special one. It was beautiful, and it blew the doors off the game.
Yeah, congrats to Marvin. I mean, all pro again.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the numbers are going to be interesting. So the past couple of years, he just had the average return that was way in front of everybody else, and so it didn't matter they didn't get a touchdown. Now he's the guy with the touchdown, and there are a few guys like the Chimere DK from the Titans.
He's nice.
Right. He just has the crazy average. So I don't know. There's a tight race down the stretch, and he will get the benefit of the doubt considering he's won the last couple. He's like the status quo option.
On the best team in the league.
Right. It's like when we talk about a few weeks ago before Micah Parsons played that before Myles Garrett played that Raiders game. It's like, Nik Bonitto, Myles Garrett, they're both right there. But if it comes out close, Myles Garrett wins because everybody knows, he's Defensive Player of the Year because everybody knows Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what about Nik Bonitto and Micah Parsons? We're going to get into that conversation in the second segment, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down the Packers defense compared to the Broncos defense, Nik Bonitto and Micah Parsons, but let's start with the offensive side of the ball, where you've got two good offenses going up against this in this game, and you have two fascinating quarterbacks, Jordan Love and Nik Bonitto.
Jordan Love and Bo Nix.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Wow, that would be fun, though.
I was just thinking about Nik Bonitto sacking Jordan Love.
Oh, right.
You got Bo Nix and Jordan Love. Henry, who do you take?
See, and these are the questions where just right out of the blue, I turn into the bad guy.
Yep.
I mean, Jordan Love is playing incredible football.
You know why he's playing incredible football?
Because he lost the best tight end in the NFL?
No, because it's Toyotathon. And when it's Toyotathon, Jordan Love turns it on. So shout out to our friends over at Toyota.
Toyota, we're going to need you guys to turn it off.
This week.
Just Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday
Just for one.
is a blackout date on Toyotathon.
I like that. They could help us out.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Henry doesn't seem convinced.
Jordan Love is a good quarterback. Like, Bo Nix is a good quarterback. Oh, I want to say this. I'd rather have Bo Nix and Jalen Hurts. I was watching that game for a moment. I was like, I'd rather have more than Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert. So I want to get a couple of these things out just to preface that, yes, Jordan Love, really, really good and playing really well. Just like the efficiency of everything is insane. And like all the nerd stats, second in EPA per dropback. Like there's all that stuff. And as soon as you see like Tucker Kraft go down, because at the time he's putting up like 100 yards a game, like I thought you lose that guy, and he was just the key to keeping everything together because he can block in the run game. When they run all those bootleg play action stuff, he can fill like any part of the field, whether you want him going deep, whether you want him going short. It's just like an automatic completion because the rest of those receivers aren't that good. Like, and honestly, you look at him and almost compare him to like the Broncos receivers, where it's like, yeah, like they all belong out on the field, but there surely isn't anybody that you're terrified of. But somehow Jordan Love, I mean, it's just the efficiency, the arm, all that stuff, and he makes big plays in big moments. He looks really good.
So, Henry, I was going to give you the out and just say, like, what's the difference between these two, and what do you see from these two quarterbacks? And I'll still give you that out. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised in the Toyota chat, but we have some people say Jordan Love is not a good quarterback. That's Jose.
Okay.
We have John saying, I will take Bo.
Yep.
And that's fair. I won't pin you against these two quarterbacks because
You already did.
I didn't make him choose, though.
Yeah, you did.
Did you choose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you said Jordan Love?
Yeah, and that's why I had to say all the nicest things I could think of about Bo Nix to like counterweight so I don't become the bad guy today.
Let me say that I don't think anything you said was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna roll with my guy.
I like it.
And,
That sounds so much better than what I said.
And that's just like you can certainly make a case for why you would take Jordan Love. I just trust Bo at such a level right now of like, if you need it, he's gonna get it.
Right.
And that can't be quantified by EPA and all that. But it's just like, now he's my guy and I roll with him. And I'm totally comfortable with that. But I mean, statistically, Jordan Love's playing incredible football. I will say, since Tucker Kraft went down, the numbers are down a little bit. It's like 200 yards a game ish. But at the same time, it's also 9 touchdowns to 1 interception.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's kind of crazy looking at Jordan Love's games that he's had over their 4-game win streak that they're coming into Denver with. 174 passing yards, 139 passing yards, 234 passing yards, 234 passing yards. Those aren't groundbreaking at all. And I think it points to, and I think why there's so many varied opinions on Jordan Love, because some people do think he's worthy of being the MVP this year. He's got 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He has what, the 5th most passing yards?
Yep.
No,
9th most passing yards.
9th most passing yards, 67, over 67% completion. Those are damn good stats right there. But they also have Josh Jacobs, and they have a really, really good ground game that they rely on as well. And Jordan Love does not have to carry this Packers team, who also has a great defense. And the Broncos also have a great defense. I think that Jordan Love maybe gets too much credit for the lack of credit that Bo Nix gets with this. And what I'll say is I think that Bo Nix might be a more consistent quarterback because Jordan Love has some highs, but he also has some lows. And that's kind of this Green Bay Packers team. You see them beat any team in the NFL. That could happen any single week. They also literally can lose to the worst team in the NFL, which they've done a couple of times this year. I guess the big one was losing to the Cleveland Browns. And then they had that massive disappointing game, not against a terrible team because the Carolina Panthers are a 500 team, slightly above it right now. Saw them beat the Rams, which was crazy enough. But that was a very disappointing game. I think they were like 10.5-point favorites at home against the Panthers and lost. And their inconsistency is just wild. They seem to just play to the level of their competition, and that really starts with their quarterback. He plays, if it's a good team, he plays great. If it's a bad team, he doesn't play good. That tells me that he's probably going to play good against this team because he's going to play up to an 11-2 team this week.
They almost lost to Joe Flacco twice.
Wow.
With 2 different teams.
And that would have been the first time in NFL history that happened.
That a team lost to
the
same quarterback twice on different teams.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's funny. And then, I mean, just a weird schedule for them. Like they tied the Cowboys. Like I said, dogfight with the Bengals, dogfight with the Cardinals, lost to the Panthers. It's just.
How about this? Put up 7 points in their loss to the Eagles.
Yeah.
7 points.
Yeah. So I don't know. I will say this. I don't know if this is the right place in the podcast to say it, but I think it's utterly disrespectful that the Broncos are underdogs in this game. And I hope that they take it that way as well. Because as the home team, as a team that hasn't lost in God knows how long at home on a 10-game winning streak, it's disrespectful to be a home dog.
I believe it's 10 straight games at home as well. So you've got a 10-game win streak at home. You got a 10-game win streak right now on the season, and you have the best record in the NFL. That's crazy. And plus, not just like, it's not a fluky win streak at home. Everyone says that this is a really, really, really tough place to play. Always has been and definitely still is now.
Yeah.
Totally. Sorry, I was going back to Jordan Love.
No, go ahead. I was going back to him too.
Okay, cool. Because the big thing for him is that you've just seen the growth, where it's like Bo is winning in the fourth quarter, but he still feels like in a lot of ways there are steps to be had. Like I would say some of the same things where it's like he has a pretty significant tendency to be inconsistent and to figure things out at the end of games. But you're still waiting to see like the consistent processing, the consistent like hanging in the pocket and just delivering the ball on time. And there are games when he does it, and there are other games where you're like happy feet, you know? And that's where like I don't know that I wouldn't say Jordan Love 5 years from now is going to be better. I just say right now, after a couple years in the NFL, you've just seen him like it used to be that he was not creative. He used to be somebody who was like in the pocket, you run the play, he just gets the ball out. And now you're starting to see him run the ball a little bit or get out and extend plays and make plays off script. And you just start to see more parts of his game kind of round out. And I think Bo is going to do that. I think Bo might even be in the process of doing it. Like he had a really good game on Sunday. Maybe keep stacking those and you start seeing like consistently gain through. Right. Yeah. And so you just he's just a step behind in the process, I would say, and not necessarily like a worse quarterback.
Yeah, and that's very fair. I mean, Jordan Love's in his 6th season right now and got a lot of time to develop and now has many years on task. And Bo's just in his 2nd season. So Henry, you're totally right about that. I just think that Jordan still isn't consistent game in and game out, and I think that could show up on Sunday in a bad way for the Broncos or a really good way.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody said it in the comments. I think it was perfect. He said, "Bo has wabi sabi." You guys know what that means?
No idea. Wasabi.
Yeah, that's what
made me cry last night.
It's a new. It might be the new 6-7.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, it's essentially. Dion maybe can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. But
Dion,
I think it's like it's something that has like imperfections that make it more lovable or have more character.
And that's
Bo.
That's Bo. Yeah.
Oh, so probably somebody tried to say wasabi. No. And they came out as wabi sabi, and they're like, "Oh, good job."
Yeah, that's cute.
But that is like the concept.
The concept has nothing to do with wasabi,
right? But you could apply that to anything. It's like, oh, you're so close.
It's like these chairs,
right?
Like, they've kind of lost all their integrity because people have been sitting in them for years. But
especially some of our bigger,
we love them. They're our chairs,
right? And when you scratch them a little bit, dirt comes out.
You know who we don't? Yeah, wow. You know who we don't love? We do not love Josh Jacobs. And I want to get into him and then look at the defensive side of the ball right after this break.
Strawberry Fields. We love Strawberry Fields, and they've got locations all across the state. So, we've got a lot of listeners in Denver, but there are a lot of listeners scattered all around. Whether it's Denver, Pueblo, Trinidad, Downeyville.
I've heard we've had a lot of listeners in Downeyville.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Downeyville, I just assume is south. Because you look at it and you're just like, yep, right. I've never been to Downeyville, but if we are offending you in Downeyville, take the edge off, go over to Strawberry Fields. They've got an online menu. They got payment options, so you can skip the line, get in, get out. They got the premium flour, the vaporizers, edibles, infused drinks, tinctures, concentrates, topicals, anything you could want. They've got it, and they run deals every day, so you can grab high-quality products without spending a ton. If you're new, make sure you sign up for the loyalty program. Get exclusive offers right away. Make a purchase of over $75 at the Denver shop. Anytime in December, you'll be entered to win a full pound of flour for only $16. Rules and restrictions apply. Don't forget, use code DNVR for 25% off your entire purchase from now until 2026. Must be 21 or older with a valid ID to purchase. More info at strawberryfieldscannabis.com.
We call Downeyville Due West.
Interesting.
Due West.
Yes. Should be over there, Eville. Sideyville.
Yeah, good call. Westyville.
Westyville.
Shout out to our friends over at Game Time. Wow. Game Time is just the best. If I didn't have to do the watch long and post game show, I would probably be going to every Broncos game this year. Like, it's just so fun right now to be in that stadium and those vibes. And we just get a little taste of it at the tailgate. But if you want to go to the Broncos game this weekend, you got to get over to our friends at Game Time to get the best possible deal. And I mentioned the tailgate. You could come to the tailgate.
You could.
Hang out. Wait until the very last second when the tailgate is ending, and then buy your tickets over at Game Time.
Right.
And you're going to get the best price. So if you enjoy to procrastinate like I do, use Game Time. It's the best. And you're going to get $20 off your first purchase when you use the code DNVR over at Game Time. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
I disappeared and now I'm back. So fellas, the Josh Jacobs, man, and really quick shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up.
I think I nailed the definition on Wabi Sabi.
Yeah, I think you did too.
Yeah.
So proud of me.
I'm gonna
Because
start using
someone
it.
said unks on the panel, but he must be talking about you.
Yep.
So Josh Jacobs is a nightmare for the Denver Broncos. Josh Jacobs is undefeated playing against the Broncos. Now, that's all with the Raiders, so maybe he just left that in Las Vegas, and we can hope for that. 8-0. Guys, he averages 95 rushing yards per game against the Broncos. He averages over 100 yards per scrimmage against the Broncos. He averages over a touchdown a game against the Broncos. Jordan Love's 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions is really impressive, but Josh Jacobs is the guy that scares me, not just because of his past against the Broncos. He's a really good running back, but also that's their way to stay two-dimensional, and that's the way to beat any great defense is to just be able to stay two-dimensional throughout an entire game, and I'm sure that's what the Broncos will want to do is try to make him one-dimensional or make the Packers one-dimensional by taking him away.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's kind of the same guy he's always been, which is scary. Interesting also that they really do rotate their running backs a lot. Like, it felt like when Josh Jacobs was with the Raiders, it was just we're feeding him the ball and that's it. But now you get to see a lot of Emmanuel Wilson, who you may remember the Broncos signed after the draft when they signed Jaleel McLaughlin, and then before that first training camp, cut Emmanuel Wilson and kept Jaleel McLaughlin. Revenge game might be like the wrong word, or like highlighting an Emmanuel Wilson versus Jaleel McLaughlin matchup might be a waste of time, but it's a little bit interesting. But yeah, I mean, they've got two guys who run the ball well. Not the greatest offensive line. I think by a lot of metrics, they would say the running backs are kind of carrying a lot of the workload, but it's kind of just who they are at this point. And I think losing Tucker Kraft probably hurts them quite a bit as well. They just find a way to get done though.
Yeah, 4 yards a carry.
Right.
Definitely a career Broncos killer. Time to ride the ship.
Yep. I like it. I love it. And guys, this Broncos offense compared to the Packers offense, nearly identical. The Packers offense, 24.8 points per game. Broncos offense, 23.7 points per game. That 1 point difference puts the Packers in the top 10 of scoring offenses, where the Broncos are like 15th. But then you flip it with yards. The Packers have 340 yards per game. Broncos have 342 yards per game. These are like nearly identical offenses right here. And man, looking at Josh Jacobs, he has 817 rushing yards this year. And I'm like, that's impressive. J.K. Dobbins, to put into perspective to me just how good of a season he was having. He had like 770 before he got hurt. And he hasn't played in the past 3 games. So just, man, what a blow. But you hope that R.J. Harvey, I mean, we've continued to break it down just how much he can break out and continue that this week.
Do you know how many 100-yard games Josh Jacobs has this year?
No.
1?
It's 0.
Wow. So just a lot of 80-yard games.
Now, yes, actually, an inordinate amount of 80-yard games. But if you combine passing or receiving yards, he has had some like big ones.
Yeah.
He had 157, 140, 150 even. So he's had some big ones, a couple over 100 for sure.
And that out of the backfield is going to be a huge thing for this defense. And we've seen the Broncos have success and also struggle with that throughout this year. So I believe Vance Joseph's going to be very, very locked in on that. We talk about how the offenses are similar. Guys, on the defensive side, these defenses are almost identical as well, outside of a couple of categories. The Broncos have the number 1 rated third down defense, the number 1 rated red zone defense, and lead the NFL in sacks. The Packers get a lot of sacks. I believe they're in the top 5 in sacks, but they're still 22 sacks behind the Broncos. So they're a good pass rush, but it just puts into perspective how good the Broncos pass rush is. And in terms of points per game, they are right next to the Broncos, as well as yards per game. Their Packers are giving up 19 points per game. Broncos 18.1 points per game. Packers are giving up 287 yards on defense. Broncos 282. So that's where the strength, just like the Broncos, that's where the strength is. Jordan Love gets so much credit. And 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, I get it. But the strength, just like the Broncos, is the Packers' defense. And I love that Sean gets to game plan against this Packers defense because a lot of attention is on Micah Parsons, guys. And obviously Micah Parsons, Nik Bonitto signs his deal, 24 hours after Micah Parsons gets his deal. And the thing that stood out to me so much about Nick, Ryan, you said it before the show. You looked at Nik Bonitto and Micah Parsons' stats. How many sacks do they have?
Each of them has 12 and a half.
Henry, you know how many tackles for a loss each of them
I have no idea.
They both have 12 tackles for a loss.
Wow.
You know the price tag on these deals that these guys just signed?
It's different. Not the same.
$46.5 million a year for Micah Parsons. $26.5 million a year for Nik Bonitto. $20 million discount for Nik Bonitto, and you might get in the weeds and you find some EPAs and advanced stats that say
one of those guys is the most double-teamed player in the NFL.
Sure.
Yeah.
But for $20 million difference,
right?
Like the value on Nik Bonitto is just insane.
Well,
and
just to go back to it, like, yes, being the most double-teamed player in the NFL is really impressive. But if you're a Packers fan, you'd like to see that result in the other guys getting more production as well. So like for them to be 22 sacks behind the Broncos, it's like, okay, well, that's not paying off in the way that you would hope it would, that he's getting that much attention.
Right. I mean, yeah, it changes the way you kind of structure your offense. And so like he's at like 59% double team. Bonitto doesn't get double teamed all that much. It's like 26, 27% because you have so many 5-man rushes. And then also there are so many different guys you could choose to double team. But yeah, I mean, again, they're obviously not one guy you'd prefer to have. But I remember this summer when people got all angry at me on the internet, and then one of the stupid, I don't know, one of the sports books accounts like screenshot and said, "Can you believe he said this?" or whatever. And all I said, would you rather give $45 million per year to Micah Parsons or $23 million per year to Nik Bonitto? And I said, it's not even a debate. And everybody got all mad. Everybody was crazy. It turns out Bonitto is like 26 instead of 23. Point still stands. Like, if you could save $20 million a year
instead of 45, so
right,
more.
Right. But so again, though, like the way you have to game plan for Micah Parsons is the way you have to game plan for Von Miller back in the day. Like, you really do have to just send assets that way, or he will destroy the game. Whereas Nik Bonitto, really, really good edge rusher, but it's kind of like there's that Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons tier, and then Nik Bonitto and those other guys below. But still, I mean, the gap is not $20 million.
Yeah. I was watching a game. I cannot remember what it was, but that Micah Parsons was playing in a couple weeks ago.
Thanksgiving?
I don't think. Maybe it was.
He ruined Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he had 2 or 3 sacks.
So yeah,
and they were sending him up the middle.
Allie was probably like working on something for Thanksgiving. She just comes in and she goes, "Every time I come in here, you just go, 'Oh my God, Micah Parsons.'"
Right.
It's like, yeah, he's doing things right now, and it's ridiculous.
You guys know who the Broncos have the 2 best pass protecting tackles in the NFL this year. Garrett Bowles gives up a sack on 0% of his dropbacks, and he hasn't given up a sack. And Mike McGlinchey has given up a sack on 0.2% of the dropbacks. Those are the 2 best in the entire NFL. So saying that, how much help do you still give for Micah Parsons here, and how do you do that?
Significant.
This is what you do, is you stop Micah Parsons. That is your plan. It honestly reminds me a lot of what teams used to have to do with the Broncos. It's just like, especially in the post Super Bowl 50 Broncos, it was like, okay, we are not going to lose because Von Miller destroyed our game, and it made his life a lot harder. But that's what you have to do if you're the Broncos, is you just say like, Micah Parsons is not winning this football game today, someone else on your defense is going to have to do something.
So does that mean, to me, that means a lot more, obviously, tight ends on the field, but also Adam Prentice and lined up in the backfield. And man, we heard Sean just go crazy for Adam Prentice after the game and on Monday, just about how good of a player he is. I think that's going to mean more Adam Prentice, and we might actually see a couple of plays where it's 3rd and 8, and it's not a running back in the backfield with Bo and shotgun. It's Adam Prentice.
First play of the game, Adam Prentice lined up in the backfield and just go take a beeline rib chip on Micah Parsons.
It'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, and that whole, not even that whole front seven, but they've just got enough pieces up there that it makes it really hard to run the ball against them. We've got, because they drafted Edgerrin Cooper. Quay Walker was a 1st-round pick from Georgia a couple years ago. And so, like, they're just really big, strong, fast athletes. Like Rashawn Gary, 7.5 sacks, one of those guys who, like, he's kind of in that Jonathan Cooper bucket. Where it's like, oh, good starting player, but for some reason nobody league-wide really cares or pays much attention.
Jonathan Cooper, what round?
7th. Rashawn Gary,
what round?
He was 1st.
Yeah.
He was a Packers pick. Yeah.
Yep.
They didn't trade for him. They got rid of those the Smiths. They had the Smiths at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just like they're just so big and stout up front that they're tough to crack. And that's how Xavier McKinney winds up leading the NFL in interceptions last year, because you feel like you got to throw the ball because they can just handle the run so well up there. I'm curious to see what Sean does.
Yeah, me too, and I do think he's going to give so much attention to Micah Parsons. Really quick, Tommy in the chat, those stats that I just mentioned about Bowles and McGlinchey were from last week. So Bowles did give up a sack this week, but still, really, really good.
I haven't paid a lot of attention to what Green Bay is doing with Parsons. Are they moving him kind of all over the formation the way the Cowboys were?
Yeah.
So that's another thing where it's just like, Bo Nix, your first job on every play is to find where he is.
Find Micah.
Yeah.
Right, because in the Thanksgiving game, 2 of the sacks were just him free up the middle.
Yeah.
Which is not good.
And what did we see last week from Bo? We saw Bo complete, 26 passes, and all of them were 10 air yards or shorter. That might be the
Last
exact.
week?
Yeah.
31
passes, and all of them were 10 yards or
Was it
shorter.
all?
He had 2 that went. I think he had 2.
Yeah, because
that
there's
went.
like a back
then-
shoulder
right,
throw to
the no
Cortland.
look was more.
Then it was
Yeah, those
26
are the 2.
passes of his completions were 10 yards, air yards or shorter. That was the most in his career. That might just be the plan again, because what you can't have is, you said it, Ryan, everything revolves around Micah Parsons. You cannot have him win the game for you. And that's what the Packers were able to do on that Thanksgiving game against the Lions, was he just destroyed that game. You can't have Parsons end the game with 3 sacks. You can't have Parsons end the game with a strip sack. That's the difference in the game. So a lot of quick passes, totally fine by me.
We also just underrate the fact that, like, Bo Nix doesn't let that happen.
He hasn't let that happen.
He has never let that happen, where it's just like someone gets off in that way.
I agree, but you just have to also help him out.
Of course, you're aware of it. And, like, Garrett Bowles is also great. And, you know, the offensive line you trust. But you do send extra resources to make sure that doesn't happen. But to me, it's not something that you have to be, like, so scared of, because Bo Nix doesn't let that happen.
That reminded me of a take that I wanted to have that almost fits in. I want to see RJ Harvey fumble before the playoffs.
No,
What are you talking
I think
I'm good.
because he's been just a little bit loose with that football when he's running around, and I kind
Trying
of
to teach him a lesson?
right. I kind of want that to happen before we get in, and so that it's kind of on his, and he kind of locks back in and starts like holding this thing up there instead of it happening in the playoffs.
So are you saying the more that he carries the ball, the closer he is to fumbling?
No, well, I mean,
That is kind of what he's saying.
that is always how that would work. In the same way that every day we are closer to death. Yes, you're never getting
you
further.
finally agree with me.
No, I
Unless
agreed
he has a
yesterday.
Philip Lindsay complex and just never fumbles.
Yeah.
That would be ideal. So let's go out to our guy Brian Baldinger and let's talk to him right after this break.
End Credit Union. We love End Credit Union. If you want, okay, so there are different things that appeal to different people. If you're like me, you might just want a really cool card, and that's all that really matters to you about your bank. If that's the case, Ent Credit Union is the place to go. You sign up for their Broncos checking account. They've got this cool new Pat Surtain card. There's like a Bo Nix card. They've got all sorts of different cards. If you're maybe more financially advanced, you might be interested in the $200 in free money that they will give you if you sign up for a Broncos checking account, or the discounts on game days at Empower Field, the chance to win Broncos tickets, exclusive merch. They have all sorts of different perks, including just that quick $200, which is obviously a great deal. So the playoff push is heating up, and now is the time to lock it down. The perks, the card, the $200. If you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head over to ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA, membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card. Requires $100 deposit. Activation debit card within 30 days of account opening.
Yeah, and if you are like me, you would take that $200 free and you'd make a sick SGP. And then you could turn it into life-changing money,
Millions.
potentially. Yeah. If I had gone to End Credit Union before this weekend and made that SGP that I hit and just put all 200 on that, I'd probably be on vacation right now, not even here. So it's so fun to just go over to Bet365, get some action on a game, whether you're locked in or you're just like, I don't know, you have to go to like a friends and family event and like, you know, there's going to be a TV there's a game on, just like get a little action on it. So you have something to check in on when you're going over to the TV. It's always more fun to watch sports with Bet365. And right now, when you use the code DNVR365, you can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up, use the code DNVR365. Deposit 10 and bet 5 for $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So get over there, use that code DNVR365. Must be 21 and older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
And shout out to everyone that is tuning in with us today, including our friends over at Bet365. Use that code DNVR365, our presenting sponsor of this show. And we're talking about some odds for this coming game right now. Bet365 is the place to go. Henry, you've got it pulled up. What stands out to you?
Plus 170 for Micah Parsons to not have a sack.
That's insane.
That is really crazy.
For those
Especially
of you,
playing
for
against
those of
a
you
great offensive line of Bo Nix.
Non-bettors, that means 1.7 to 1. So you put $10 on it, you win 17. Yeah.
You bring home 27.
You bring home 27 because you give them the 10
parlay
first.
that with Broncos money line.
Correlated, so it won't get crazy juice.
That's true.
Yeah, it is correlated.
Someone, Regular Paul in here, the chat's kind of all over the place here today. Regular Paul says, I hear Zach is a Packers fan. I hate the Packers.
I'm so indifferent towards the Packers.
Yeah, they've got that guy they had that guy for a long time that I
yeah.
really don't like. But a guy that I really do like is joining us right now. Our guy, Brian Baldinger. Baldy, what's going on?
Let me get centered here. There's a lot going on. I mean, it's playoff football time here, man. We're these games just get bigger and bigger as the season goes on. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming weekend, to be honest with you.
Man, me too. And it really feels like this final month for the Broncos is almost a playoff game every single week. And this one, you got the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Broncos, going up against the number 2 seed in the NFC, the Packers. And Baldy, the Broncos are underdogs in this game. Is that right? Should the Broncos be the underdogs in this game? Are the Packers that good? Because it's kind of baffling for a team that's won 11 games, has a 10-game win streak at home, has a 10-game win streak on the season.
Yeah, I'm not sure like how Vegas does it. What it's based on. I don't know if it's based on, the eye test or statistics or measure. I mean, I don't really know, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, I thought last week the Broncos played a different style of football than they had to play. I mean, they just played ball control. They didn't take any deep shots. They weren't trying to be explosive. They just want to play keep away. From the Raiders, I almost feel like Sean thought this is a good time to work on that. In case we get a team like Green Bay and you want to keep their offense off the field, can we control the football for 40 minutes or 35 minutes? Is our quarterback good enough? Is our running game, I felt like they were preparing for a game like this where, okay, let's give Jordan Love 7 or 8 possessions. Let's just play keep away. I almost felt like that was part of his game play, knowing that he could beat the Raiders. Just the defense alone could probably beat him outside of that first drive. And so I don't know how he thinks, when these kind of games like last week, but I thought that was a different style than we had seen.
I thought so too, and I hadn't thought of it that way as getting ready for these next couple of games. But I'm kind of curious to see where this goes because do you think that it could be a shift in kind of like their offensive philosophy? Like they could realize that their strength might be running the ball instead of trying to spread teams out. Or do you think that it's kind of late in the season for a team to think we need to start playing differently to be at our very best?
No, I mean, look, the quarterback completed 75% of his passes or more. It was a high percentage. They weren't, they dinked and dunked. And so I almost felt like, okay, the weather's going to get nasty. You don't want to turn the ball over. The other, I always feel like you got to be able to play any style it takes to win. Like sometimes you got to play with one hand tied behind your back, and that's the way to win. And sometimes, like in the Kansas City game, from the opening drive, it was bombs away. We need explosive plays against the Chiefs. And so that's the style. And Sean said it. He said it on the pregame, like we're gonna take our shots. We're not gonna play with house money. And so I felt like that was the style. Then last week, and so you never know. Like you get home games here. I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Denver, but I've seen it getting pretty lousy, around the country right now. And sometimes, you want to be able to have the short passing game as an extension of the run game, as a way to just continue to pile up first downs and extend these drives. And I almost felt like maybe that was a way to work on it. And maybe you do that against Green Bay. Micah Parsons is a problem. I call it the MPP. And so he can change the game. He did last week against Chicago, flushing Caleb Williams 3 or 4 times out of the pocket, making him throw the ball away. How they handle that, because he's lining up everywhere. He's a chess piece now, and they're using him the way I think he should be used, where he can go wherever he wants on some third downs, but they still have structure. They still have rush lanes. They still have things in the secondary in place, but they let him just freelance because he's so good at it.
Baldy, you're an NFL guy. You got the NFL letter jacket. If I had a letter jacket, it would just be an AFC letter jacket. Like, I'm just an AFC guy. And because of that, it just means I haven't seen much of the Packers. So what makes the Packers special?
Well, a couple things. One, they've had to adjust a lot during the season. They lost Tucker Kraft, who was their best receiver, a couple weeks ago, and they went on a dip. Like they literally, and then they had other guys out, but and then they lost their center, and they try to, imagine if Denver loses Wattenberg, what they're going to do after losing Powers. I'm not sure what the plan is, but they lost their center, who's a good player. So then they moved Sean Ryan into center, but they didn't really have a good right guard. And then they end up putting the rookie in there, Anthony Belton, and he's played really good the last 2 weeks. So now I feel like they've solidified the offensive line. They had lost Josh Jacobs for a game and a half, and they had to replace that. And I felt like they've overcome these losses on offense to the point where they won 4 in a row. And if you watch that Packers-Chicago game the other day, like it was a playoff game. It was played like a playoff game. There was a big intensity at Lambeau. It came down to the final drive. Keyshawn Nixon made a play in the end zone. Otherwise, maybe it's going to overtime. And so I feel like they're a well-coached team. They give you a lot to concentrate on. They do a lot in the run game. The quarterback threw 3 – I don't know if this is a record, but I haven't seen it recently. He threw 3 touchdown passes in a span of 12 plays. Like he didn't miss. That's that. And the Bears have a very good defense. They lead the league in takeaways, lead the league in interceptions. He had 3 touchdown passes in 12 plays. So, the guy is seeing the field really well, and he's got some big-time receivers like Watson right now that can go and get it.
Yeah, and Baldy, speaking of the Broncos and some weapons that they have, we saw RJ Harvey had his breakout game this past Sunday. From what you saw from that film, do you think this is sustainable for RJ Harvey to be this workhorse for the Broncos, especially in the playoffs when you really need a running game?
Yeah, I mean, he was good in the red zone. The idea that running backs have good vision is sort of stupid because nobody sees anything. Like, you got to have instincts. You got to know. If you're looking for a hole, it's too late. Like, that's not how it works. And you can ask any running back that. Ricky Williams used to tell me that he ran goal lines with his eyes closed. Like, he closed his eyes. He said it was just a habit. Like, so, I think the guy has good instincts about where to go. I think that's why he was drafted where he was. And he's an excellent receiver. But I feel like I think they've paced it to the point where if he's got to get 15 to 20 carries because he's just better than Jaleel or better than Badie or whatever, like I think he can handle it right now.
Maybe Ricky's eyes were closed because of what he was doing before the game.
Yes.
Maybe. Hadn't thought of that.
It's possible. It's so fun to see RJ go and do that, though, because we had questions. It was 4 straight games, less than 3 yards per carry. to see him go out there, especially between the tackles, find some run lanes and create some productive runs was awesome to see. But also in the back of our mind, we're all thinking it is the Raiders. So how sustainable is this really? And can you really take that into a game against the Packers front seven and expect it to work?
Chicago, they carved out a run game last week. I mean, they got this Kyle Manon guy they have. He's another rookie. I mean, I think he's the hardest guy to tackle in the league. That's why he's so good on the short yards and goal line for him. But, if you're going to have fresh legs, it's going to be when you're a rookie, Like if you're going to have, I mean, they always say there's a rookie wall. But for running backs, he hadn't had a whole lot of carries. In fact, he has a total of, he doesn't have 100 carries yet, So I can't feel like there's a lot left in the legs this year. He's 21 years old. Like, come on. Like, if you're going to be a running back in this league, Christian McCaffrey's going to get 450 touches this year, and he's 8 years in this league. So, I feel like he should be built for it. He should be getting better because he got any running back to me that's good gets better the more touches he gets. And, we've seen Sean rotate these backs, throughout the season for whatever reason. And he's always kind of done that. But I feel like RJ proved a lot last week. This is a much better run defense. I love Max Crosby, but I don't know what Max was doing on some of those runs last week. He's taking himself out of the play. But they're much more disciplined in Green Bay up front with the guys that they have.
Baldy, if you had to boil it down to if the Broncos do this, they will win the game on Sunday, what would it be?
Well, I think if they take the ball away, which they don't do, if they take the ball away, they're going to win the game. Now, Green Bay has been susceptible to that at times this year. I don't know if Jordan Love's thrown an interception in the last 4 weeks. I don't think as many if he has. But, they have 10 takeaways. For a team that has 55 sacks, that's a very low number. Very low number. And so I feel like I've said this before, like sacks are good. Malcolm Roach can get a sack. It's good, okay? But it's a whole lot better if you can get the ball out. If you can start getting these strip sacks, where you secure the tackle and then you strip the ball. Like I feel like that's a next step for Nick, for Zac, for some of these guys to start getting the ball out. You're getting there. You're getting to the quarterback. Now, how about getting the ball on the ground? And I feel like that's what's been missing from this defense is to take – because then I think they could start really, making a claim to be the best team out there if they start doing that. Because Deion Sanders told me this a long time ago, and I always believed it. He said that a good defense is a defense that's a scoring defense. Last year they were scoring touchdowns. Bonitto scored a couple. Like I feel like that's the next step for this defense here. If they want to go through Green Bay and Jacksonville, some of these better teams, you win that battle, they're going to win these games.
Baldy, what do you think the Broncos' record is in these final 4 games? You get the Packers at home this week, then you get the Jags at home the following week, then a short week in Arrowhead to play the Chiefs, and then you finish it against the Chargers. This is probably the toughest stretch for the Broncos. How do you think they fare in this tough stretch?
Well, if they go 3-1, I mean, I believe they'll be the number 1 seed. We'll see what New England does with Buffalo, and how they fare. But I think they have a chance to be the number 1 seed. I'm going to see Kansas City this weekend against the Chargers. They might eliminate themselves. Not that they're going to play any less on a short week. You know what they're going to do, but how hard they're going to play. But I feel like 3-1 would be really good. With the basically 4 playoff teams or 4 teams are playoff worthy.
Yeah.
It's a tough part of their schedule. So if they go 2-2, they're still going to be in good shape.
Yeah.
They're still going to have home playoff games and play a lower seeded team. But, I think that they have a chance still to be the number 1 seed. And that's what they should be thinking about because it's important to get that week of rest. It's huge, and getting ready and getting the next game at home in front of the crowd. That's a lot to play for right here in these 4 games.
Baldy, incredible insight. We love talking to you, and maybe we're talking about a 12-2 Broncos team with you next week. Thanks for all your insight. Enjoy this weekend.
These games are important. Real quick here, Zac. These games are important. Like, you want to be battle-tested. Beating the Raiders is nice. It's great. Being battle-tested and getting ready for the playoffs, I feel like these games down the stretch can really sharpen you up. the coach, the game plans, the execution. Like, I think these are really not just to win these games, but to take on the test of Green Bay, coming off a 4-game win streak, taking on Jacksonville is hot right now. Like, I think you're going to find out a lot about who you are. The win streak is great. The record is great. But you kind of want to know when you go in the locker room at the end of the game, just who you are. And I think these games are going to shape that.
Well, Baldy, that actually, really quick, that gives some insight on why the Broncos' 3 championship teams in the past, they've all lost 2 games in December. And maybe it is because that right before the playoffs, you kind of get an idea of who you are and where you need to get better. And I think that could fit right in with that stat.
Yeah, good nugget. Yeah. All right, Zach. Good, man.
Right on. Well, thank you, Baldy, for joining us.
Guys.
We will talk to you next week.
You got it, bud. See you guys.
See ya. The legend, Brian Baldinger. Could you tell what that logo was?
I couldn't.
I thought maybe Florida Panthers. He does live in Florida.
I was looking at like the Columbus.
Yeah.
Soccer team.
Yeah.
Oh.
You think Baldy's a
I don't think
soccer
he's a
guy?
soccer
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's just something.
But it does
about
look like they're like the Columbus Cannons or something like that.
Yeah, Dion, maybe you can do that research in the final 15 minutes of the show.
Zoom
right
it
here.
in for us.
And speaking of Dion doing some work, let's hit a quick break, and then we'll get back to the conversation on Broncos Packers.
Common Spirit. At Common Spirit, they've got everything you could possibly need. Whether you're, a pretty healthy person who just needs like a checkup to make sure that all is going well and to stay healthy. Whether you have a chronic condition. So, I found out last night it's not good to breathe through your mouth. You're supposed to breathe through your nose, like filters the air.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like a little bit better; it's significantly better.
Yeah.
So that's something.
Have you ever heard the phrase mouth breather?
Yeah, I thought it just meant moron. But it turns out you're moron because it hurts. I don't want to give medical advice here, but I've been thinking a lot about health recently, and you should too. It's a great thing to think about, and Common Spirit has all the answers you could be looking for whatever problem you're dealing with. Again, routine checkups, chronic conditions, responding to an emergency. Common Spirit is there to deliver exceptional care close to home, and they've got hospitals, clinics, passionate staff, 20 hospitals, 240 clinics and care sites, actually, a whole bunch. Experience the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
I don't know where the mouth breathing part came into that. Anyways,
Just
shout out to our friends over at Branded Bills. I don't know if you guys have seen the new DNVR hats, but there's one that kind of looks exactly like this,
I know.
except for instead of very good, it says DNVR. And of course, I already ordered it because I love this look.
So I haven't yet because I don't know how many to buy.
It's tough.
Because I'm thinking I'm always going to want this hat. So do I just order one the first time or do I just buy like 5 and have it forever?
Probably just get them all done.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do that now.
And Brandon Bills is not just partnering with DNVR. They
Right.
have all sorts of sick hats. Very comfortable, very breathable, great for the golf course, great for the boat, great for the winter. Whatever you're looking for, get over to Branded Bills and use the code BB, that stands for Branded Bills, DNVR, that stands for us, for 15% off your first order. That's BBDNVR for 15% off your first order at brandedbills.com.
And speaking of Branded Bills, we've got some new Branded Bills hats over at DNVR. Look at these things of beauty right here.
Yeah, really nice stuff.
Really nice. And you can get them over at the locker. We got the link in the description below. Man, those are crisp. Those are very crisp. That DNVR one does look like your hat.
It does. I know.
Yeah.
It's a great style.
Just throw the DNVR on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, you got it.
I've got one in the mail. It's supposed to come like tomorrow.
I love it. And Dre said he's not wearing a hat until he gets his shipment of the new hats.
Got a nice clean haircut. I think
does.
You should show it off.
Right?
I thought yesterday it looked pretty long. Do you have some? No flow.
No.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, so let's continue to dive into this game. And we asked Baldy, Ryan, you brought it up earlier. I just want to dive into it. I wonder if this is the first time that the team with the best record in the NFL on a significant win streak has ever been a home underdog. Because I can almost guarantee, without doing the research, that's the first time the team with the best record in the NFL, with the 10-game win streak, at home, has ever been an underdog at home.
Except for it's happening before the Broncos.
Patriots don't have the 10-game win streak at home.
Yeah, there you go. You threw that. Throw that.
Well, if you
caveat
throw
in there.
enough qualifiers in there, they are the only one.
Wait, so who are the Patriots playing? Oh, the Bills.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They're
2 teams
10-game
That
win
is-
streaks.
10-game win streaks that are tied for the best record in the NFL. Both dogs in the same day.
Back-to-back games. Holy
And there's
cow,
a long,
that's wild.
there's like 40 times maybe it's happened. And I was thinking about going back and checking
Where what happened? Like what?
10-game win
specifics?
streak and you're an underdog at home. But I wasn't willing to click on all of them to see if they also had 10-game home win streaks spanning multiple seasons.
And the best record in the NFL.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that one. Yeah.
That's just this deep in a season. That's pretty crazy. And I guess it's because now the Packers are heating up. They had those 2 losses in the middle of the season, are on that 4-game win streak right now. And I think all of us are taking the Packers very seriously. They are a very, very good team. But I think the country needs to take the Broncos very seriously as well.
Are you guys with me in my, like, I feel like the NFC is just lesser.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. And
That's
I know
how it's been growing up. Yeah.
If I didn't hate the color red so much, I really would just rock an AFC shirt.
right.
Love the AFC.
NFC's
I'm just a
always
big
been
fan
bad.
of the American football
Do
conference.
those
NFC
exist?
had like the 80s and 90s. Oh, I'm sure you can
Yeah.
find one.
It's a nice logo too. The AFC logo.
It is.
Yeah, like I'll watch like Jags Browns before I watch Packers Vikings.
Packers Vikings is tough.
No,
I know it's a rivalry, but
I'm watching the better game. I'll
Really?
put conference
That's just
aside
like,
there.
yeah, I don't know.
They
It's
were-
like
I'm
watching
taking
a
Packers Vikings.
Big Ten game at 10 a.m. or something.
like like when the Bengals played the Bills this week, that was electric. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't wait for that one.
Yeah.
But like the equivalent of that would be, I don't even know because there isn't a quarterback as good as either of them. No disrespect to Matthew Stafford in the NFC.
I'd say Lions Rams, and that is happening this week too, right?
Yeah, but I guess Lions are barely in better shape.
Also,
than
like the Fox broadcast is not nearly
It's
as
not
good
good.
as the CBS
Fully agree.
broadcast.
No.
Fully
It's
agree.
bad.
I hated when the Broncos played on Fox in the past.
Yeah,
When
it's so weird.
even watching like Monday Night Football, I had forgotten it was Joe Buck because it's just been whatever 6 straight weeks of the Manning cast.
Yeah.
Listening to that, I was like, oh, this is not fun.
And they had that stupid robot on Fox.
Cletus.
Yeah,
It has a name? It's a thing?
yeah.
Wow.
You can buy a little action figure.
I always thought that was so stupid.
49ers Seahawks.
49ers Seahawks.
I think
they're both-
Cletus
those-
might be
they're
the
both
most
good teams.
redeeming quality of a Fox broadcast.
Like either one of them could win the NFC West. The Bengals fell off.
Wait, what?
Just in terms of like what the equivalent of Bills Bengals is.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a 4-7 team with the
Right.
Bengals, and it was a wildly entertaining game that people wanted to tune
Like,
into.
couldn't
The
wait to
hell-
watch.
I mean, we were on the pregame show, so we're just like watching it, but like back-to-back tip picks.
I literally went and I think got a water, and the Bengals were up, and I wanted the Bengals to win. And then I came back and they were down 2 scores.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was weird.
insane.
And
Yep.
it just like it felt so fluky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Bills.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really
just the
did.
whole game. I was just like, that's how it ends. 2 tipped picks in a row.
And that's just, man, even though the Bills are the number 1 team that I don't want the Broncos to have to face in the playoffs, it's not like, not scared of them anymore. It's like, if we could avoid them, that'd be great, but not scared of them because they just, I mean, you said it yesterday. What is it? You have to have quarterback magic.
Oh, yeah.
And he is the guy that can do that among the quarterbacks that the
That
Broncos
fourth
would have to
down
face. Yeah. But like that's it. That's what they have. They are not this unstoppable team like they were last year. And last year it was like, okay, Broncos have a pretty difficult test going into Buffalo. Won't be the case. A Josh Allen and the rest of his team will be coming into Denver.
Weird thing is their defense just sucks.
Yeah.
Because for forever they had a good defense and all that. Now they run the ball well, they pass the ball all right, and their defense is terrible. And that's not the kind of game I would rather see the team with the good defense and the bad offense. Because if you send a bad offense up against this defense, you're gonna shut them down. But it would be a battle trying to stop James Cook and Josh Allen. And I think that they're so tough to stop that the Broncos would need to score like 24 or 30 points on a bad defense. I'd rather bet on the defense than bet on the offense at this point.
I'm good with either one,
Oh, okay.
just because of Sean Payton. I trust him so much in a game like that to have a game plan ready.
Well, and that's going to be this week. The Packers do have a very, very, very good defense against the run, against the pass. They have some star players, and this is going to be a huge test for Sean to show what he can do against them.
I feel like the Packers are very Broncos-y
Yeah.
in the way that they're built.
They are.
Or even, I was almost thinking Chiefs-like from a few years ago, in the way that like the run game is very much just like straight ahead. Like we're just going to beat you to the punch and we're going to plug forward for our 4 yards. And that's going to force you to get people into the box to stop it because they're not doing all the creative stuff with all the pullers or whatever. And then pass game, there's so much off script and all that. And that maybe made more sense back when they were led by the dominant tight end. But yeah, I don't know. They are interesting.
I love this. I love that the Broncos are underdogs because people just started buying into them.
Mm-hmm.
And now they get to play the whole world is against us card still.
Right.
And Sean is playing that.
Yes, exactly. Like it's like it just turned to a point where people are like, the Broncos are really good.
Yeah.
And now you get to be like, no one believes in us and they never have.
Yep, exactly. And then the following week, you get the Jags at home. I imagine the Broncos are going to be favored in that game. Wouldn't be shocked if let's say the Chiefs win the next 2 games, if the Chiefs are favored at home against the Broncos, despite the Broncos potentially being 13-2 at that point. Broncos could be home dogs, or I guess away dogs with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Chargers, I don't think people bet on the Chargers, so I think the Broncos will probably be favored in that game.
Marianne does.
I'm curious.
Marianne?
Yeah. That's their one fan.
Oh, that's it.
Right.
Yeah, she was there again this past week. That's
I
insane.
honestly think after they got caught for that being totally fraudulent, they were like, we need you to be at every game for the rest of the time, and we're going to pay you handsomely for it.
so that we don't get busted for
Yes,
it being
exactly.
fake. Yeah. All right. We are going to continue to break down the game tomorrow. Hit us with a thumbs up before we hit super chats. We really appreciate everyone tuning in, and let's get to those super chats. Dion, and the first super chat is coming in from our friend Valley Bandit 6128. Says, is there a scenario in which Denver would eliminate both Kansas City and the Chargers from playoff contention when they play them? And do we want that? Let's go Broncos. Let's go DNVR.
Just
Do we
get
want
them
that?
out.
Of course. I mean, yeah, the sooner the better.
Right.
But also, like, just daggering them each one at a time would be so nice.
Back-to-back weeks, heading into the playoffs as the number 1 seed.
Right. I'm pretty sure. So for the Chiefs, they need to win out. The Chargers can only win 1 more game, and the Colts can only win 2 more games. And then there's still a chance that they're out, but it would take like the Ravens winning out and then having some weird tiebreaker.
So Chargers win 2 and they're in.
Or
that what you're
at the very
saying?
least, the Chiefs are out.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that guarantees they're in front of enough others.
The Chiefs have to win out. It really is a win-win for Chargers and Chiefs this week from a Broncos perspective. The Chiefs are either eliminated and you get to dance on their grave for 3 straight weeks before the playoffs
Do
start.
you know that Tom Brady never once played in a meaningless regular season game?
Like he would sit?
No,
Or
No.
He's there was never a game
Yeah.
that he played in where the team was already eliminated.
It is rare. Like you forget. I mean, it's less rare now that there's
like
17 games because there's just more time for separation. But yeah, it used to not really happen. Well, and on top of that, like the 2 buys, I guess that wouldn't really change it, would it?
No, it's all just about whether or
Yeah,
not you're
it'd just be
eliminated
number
from
1.
playoff contention before the end of the season.
And so Mahomes might get 3 on him. In a bad way for Mahomes. In a great way.
I noticed a funny thing about Chiefs fans. They have like these weird side rivalries with the Patriots now because they're like fighting about the legacy.
Yeah.
And then they also have one with the Bills. So anytime I take a shot at the Chiefs online, like their fans think I'm a Bills or Patriots fan because they're just used to those people going after them.
What did someone call you on Twitter and then you dunked on him and you crushed him just a couple days ago?
Oh, the Raiders fan.
Yeah.
He was just complaining about me saying that their team just lost all the things that made them special.
Which they absolutely did.
Yeah.
Yep. They
That's
still
it.
got the haircut though.
What haircut?
The owner's haircut.
Oh,
Yeah, that makes them special.
That certainly makes them
It
special.
does make
Probably
them
their
special.
biggest standout right now. Their biggest identifier, as Randy Gregory
The
said.
funny thing is, like, I was actually low-key giving respect to the Raiders in a weird roundabout way, and it really, I think I just hit them right.
What was the
Yeah.
Kamsabi?
Right in a
You gave him a Kamsabi, right?
That is wild. Wabi Sabi.
What's Kamsabi?
I don't think it's anything, hopefully, for your sake.
Okay, you gave
might
him
have
the
invented
wabi
it.
sabi.
That doesn't even make sense.
Neem Dog says, it seems like every game our defense drops 2 or 3 interceptions. We may not be good in takeaways, but knowing the opportunities are there is good. LF Bo.
Gonna need them if you want to win a Super Bowl.
Agree with that.
Super Bowl teams usually aren't teams that drop the interceptions in the playoffs.
Yep.
Usually those are kind of crucial.
I don't think we have a secondary hands problem. I think it's all just circumstantial.
And
Yeah.
so that's why, I mean, the opportunities are there. And I do think that will eventually change. And as Henry said, it probably needs to change.
Were you thinking of Kemosabi?
No, I was trying to
Oh.
think of your wabi sabi.
Okay, all
Is
right.
that it? Wabi
Wabi
sabi?
sabi,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kimo sabi. You want an expensive hat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not the original use of that word, but yes.
Oh, being a
Huh.
Colorado native, that's what I think of. Yeah.
He was a wrestler.
No. Okay, let's.
Okay.
That's going to do it for us today. Before we say anything else wrong, we're just going to end it. We'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. We're going to be hearing from Sean, Bo, Court, Pat. Got a big show tomorrow and our final picks. Stay tuned. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.